Is your child or student struggling with reversing letters B and D? This is super common, and there's some really good reasons why. I have a few tips that over my 25 years of teaching experience I've seen be really helpful. And also, I'm going to show you why this is so common. In our 3D world, when we see something, it doesn't matter which way it's oriented, it is still, the object still remains what it is. So this is a mug. This is a mug. This is a mug. This is a mug. It doesn't matter which way we orient this or which way we look at it, it is still a mug. With this shape, that kind of changes depending on the way it's oriented. With other 2D shapes, though, it does, the meaning stays the same. It doesn't matter how it's oriented. For example, this is a triangle. This is a triangle. This is a triangle, and so on. It doesn't matter which way we orient or rotate this shape. Its meaning remains the same. Same with like this shape, right? A rectangle. A rectangle. We could even tilt it 45 degrees. We could tilt it any way. It's still a rectangle. There are other 2D shapes or symbols that its meaning changes depending on the way we orient it. For example, these two symbols. When we use these in math, they have very different meanings. And your teacher, when you're learning these, probably use some alligator jaws to help you understand greater than less than. That those alligators are going to eat the larger number. That's how we remembered it. Our teacher gave us a little trick to help us remember. But then in our 3D world, it doesn't matter which way we look at something or which way we approach it, it still is what it is. It doesn't get a new name. It doesn't mean something new or different. That's the reason children have such difficulty with this, because this shape is used here. It is used here. It's used here. It's used here. It's used here. We've used this same shape, rotated it, flipped it, and it means something different each time. That's why they're having a hard time with it. Completely normal, especially all the way through second grade. Completely normal. So what are these tips or tricks that we can use to help distinguish B and D? We'll talk about these other ones another time, another video. For B specifically, one of the things that I've seen really help kids is when you say the word B or the sound B, your mouth starts in a line and then opens. B. We start with that line, B, and then your mouth opens, just like we have here a line and then the opening or the circle. So just try that right now with your own mouth. B or B. Here's another thing that can help is baby B follows mama B. They both face the same way. This has been helpful for some students. That is something that can sink into some kids' head and it sticks with them forever, and they will always remember, oh, that baby bee, that mama bee, they follow each other. They're always going to face the same way. Some kids, it is the name and the sound starting with that mouth in a line followed by the opening, ba, bee. This simply, the hearing how the letter is formed helps some children. Big line down, bounce up, curve around. Big line down, bounce up, curve around. When I was teaching kindergarten, in my class we would say B for bounce, ba, ba, ba. And so having this shape be a big line down, bounce up, curve around, this really helps them, especially matched with the song that we would sing. For D, D is a magic C letter. In my letter A video, we talked about the importance of starting at the top and having this nice magic C shape. D is a magic C letter, just like A. There are some others that we'll get into in another video. But with lowercase d, children get this nice start at the top magic C, big line up, trace it down, there's that little hook. Magic C, big line up, trace it down, and a little hook. You can do that sound, D, when you say D or duh, your mouth starts open. Just like with the D shape, we start with an O, with it being open. So using that magic C for a D, or with the sound and the shape, or the sound and the name, your mouth shape being open, D, that can really help students. The other thing that is really helpful is when we teach these independently. Really have your one worksheet or your focus be just B, and teach your tips and tricks just on B. Your next lesson or another day, just focus on your tips and tricks for letter D. You could even have these pages be a different color so that it can sink in and the children can distinguish them separately and file those separately in their brains. Here's another trick that I've seen really work well for some students, is making this shape with their hands. And they make a bed. And this has been, I've seen kids even do this while they're doing their writing to help them remember, oh, which one is B and D? Which way do they go? They make the bed with their hands, and they can visually see and feel that B and D orientation. So B and D, very common and easy for students to confuse. Now you see why it is so easy for them to confuse and and have a struggle or a struggle to remember which way either one goes. And now you have some tips and tricks to help them straighten that out.